So I've spoken to you, Ashley. I have now registered my business. My business is up and running.
Yeah.
So how do I ensure that I now remain compliant so that 3 years down the line or 5 years down the line, I don't have government entities chasing me all over. So for example, we've seen Keroche get into problems with KRE. So are there certain things that I need to consider even as I'm registering the business? Certain key compliance issues that I need to also keep in mind that I'll need to be undertaking as a business.
For sure. Especially for, well, I'll say all types of businesses, because even as a sole proprietor, in as much as you're trading in your name, you see, you need to be compliant in that you need to pay your taxes. You need to declare your profits and income. So different vehicles have different types of tax. We'll begin with tax.
When people hear compliance, they just think tax.
Tax, because tax will cripple your business if you're evading. It will really cripple you. And Karachi would have gotten away with paying that 1 billion if they were declaring.
Right.
And so the first thing will be that you need to understand the vehicle that you have chosen. If you have chosen a company limited by shares, you need to pay your income tax. Income tax is a certain percentage, 30% being if it's local. If it's not local, it's about 37.5% of your income. So you need to remember that even as you're registering the business. If you're registering the business personally as a sole proprietorship, all income that you've gained, you need to declare, and you need to remit a certain portion. So it's good to also have a consultant, a tax or an accountant on call, and it can be an extra cost, but it's beneficial for your business. Don't take a business lightly, and because it's like a baby, where you raise your baby so carefully and you mold the way you want.
Right.
This is the same thing in the business. Other issues you need to look at in compliance will be having agreements in place. Even if you don't want to enter into agreements with your customers or your suppliers, let your invoice speak for itself. You can add some terms and conditions down and say payment shall be made within 30 days. And say goods unsold shall not be returned. Do you think those receipts are being given in supermarkets or in shops and in vain? That's where they have terms and conditions that are down.
Squeezed there in very tiny letters that we don't take time to read.
And people don't take time to read. So you go back to the shop, you're told, goods unsold are not returned. So yeah, you need to have those things in place. Even if it cannot fit in your invoice down there, just put it behind. I see Wells Fargo or Defoe is a good option. They give you a contract and it has all their terms and conditions in place.
Now, I'm sure perhaps when people are starting these businesses or starting these companies, you're alone. But as the business grows, you also onboard more team members, you onboard more employees. And people forget that beyond the salary, there's also some certain compliance when it comes to even employment matters.
For sure. So you, as a business, again, be it you are alone, you are a sole proprietor or a partnership or a CLG or a company limited by shares, you need to have your contracts in place. First things first is have your employment contracts in place. It need not be 15 pages, honestly. 2 pages, 2-pager contract has everything. If it has the duties, termination, key terms that your lawyer should advise you, and Ingrid, I'm sure you will talk about it later. It needs to have those key terms that you need to look at when you're entering into employment contract. Even if you're employing a security guard, honestly, please, because this will save you a lot of risk by going to court. And then with our courts, with our Kenyan courts, they are employee than employer. So you see, you're putting your business at risk. Have contracts with your suppliers. Have contracts with your customers. Have contracts with your landlord. Don't take it for granted that you're renting a premises and there's no contract. Have leases. If you're entering into a commercial contract, especially a contract that is more than 5 years, a lease rather that is more than 5 years, have it registered. So, and then when you're having this contract in place, just don't have a contract and put it in a file and forget. Manage it, or have someone to manage it for you, like a legal consultant or a lawyer. like because your contract is going to end within a year, you need to renew those contracts. So you need to remember these things. It's a cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can, I'm imagining you've set up a nice office space, maybe you had a lease for 4 years.
Yeah.
The 4 years is coming to an end. You haven't bothered to check on the dates to renew, and you think it'll be automatic only for your landlord to tell you, nope, someone else has already booked your space and is coming in.
Yeah, that means you are not compliant.
Right.
So you need to remember that your contract is ending in 4 years. And because it's ending in 4 years, some of these contracts say you need 3 months notice if you intend to renew your contract. So you need to maybe have a diary or have a system in place that will tell you in 4 years' time, I need to renew my contract. I need to renew my employees' contracts yearly. I need to renew my contractors, suppliers' contracts yearly or after 2 years.